Vanachari
Yamunatira
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Shodanandana Vajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, number 24? 25. Tatham bhavad bhagavan vyasaputro
Bhagavan Vyasaputro
Yadrichayagam atamhanu. Oops. Yadrichayagam. Let's see if I get it. Yadrichayagam atamhanu napiksha. Alakshalingo nijalabhatushto
Lakshyalingo Nijalabhatushto
Tasya palavadbhut
Vritashyapalairavadhutavesha
Tatravad bhagavan vyasaputro
Tatravad Bhagavan Vyasaputro
Yadrichayagam atamhanu napiksha.
Yadrichayagamatrimanupeksha
Alakshalingo nijalabhatushto
Lakshyalingo Nijalabhatushto
Tasya palavadbhutavesha
Vritashyapalairavadhutavesha
Tatravad bhagavan vyasaputro
Tatravad Bhagavan Vyasaputro
Yadrichayagam atamhanu napiksha.
Yadrichayagamatrimanupeksha
Alakshalingo nijalabhatushto
Lakshyalingo Nijalabhatushto
Tasya palavadbhutavesha
Vritascha Baleravadutavesha. Tatra bhavad Bhagavan Vyasaputro.
Tatra bhavad Bhagavan Vyasaputro.
Yatrichaya Ramatamanam Apekshaha.
Yadrichaya Ramatamanapesha.
Alakshalingo Nijalabhatushto.
Alakshalingo Nijalabhatushto.
Vritischa Baleravadutavesha.
Vritascha Baleravadutavesha.
Tatra,
Tatra
there, Abhavat, appeared, Bhagavan, powerful, Vyasaputra, son of Vyasadeva, Yudhishthira, as one desires, Dham, the earth, Atamana, while traveling, Anapekshana, disinterested, Saraksha, manifested, Linda, symptoms, Vijalabha, self-realized, satisfied, Druta, surrounded, Cha, and Balai, by children, Buddha, neglected by others, Vaishaha, dressed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. At that moment there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied within himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. The word Bhagavan is sometimes used in relation with some of the great devotees of the Lord, like Sukadeva Goswami, also many times Narada Muni. This is Bhagavan. Such liberated souls are disinterested in the affairs of this material world because they are self-satisfied by the great achievement of devotional service. As explained before, Sukadeva Goswami never accepted any formal spiritual master, nor did he undergo any formal reformatory performances. His father. Oh, hey, we're having class now. If you're not busy. His father, Vyasadeva, was his natural spiritual master because Sukadeva Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. After this, he became completely self-satisfied. Thus, he was not dependent on any formal process. The formal processes are necessary for those who are expected to reach the stage of complete liberation. But the Sri Sukadeva Goswami was already in that status by the grace of his father. As a young boy, he was expected to be properly dressed, but he went about naked and was disinterested in social customs. He was neglected by the general populace, and inquisitive boys and women surrounded him as if he were a madman. He thus appeared on the scene while traveling on the earth of his own accord. It appears that upon the inquiry of Maharaj Parikshit, the great sages were not unanimous in their decision as to what was to be done. For spiritual salvation, there were many prescriptions according to the different modes of the different persons. But the ultimate aim of life is to attain the highest perfectional stage of devotional service to the Lord. As doctors differ, so also sages differ in their different prescriptions. While such things were going on, the great and powerful son of Vyasadeva appeared on the scene. Om Jnanatamanandasya Gyanandana Salakaya Chakshum Ladam De Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vipul Tivachanam Bhagavan Vaitri Vipad Kadaham Vandesh Shiguru Vanchikava Yunisha Kripasindhu Paditana Avadeva Vaishyadev Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivastasi Gaur Bhakti Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. So now, having Sukadeva Goswami appear, this is the first appearance now in the Bhagavatam, and soon he'll speak. In the first canto, there's not even one word spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Also, it's interesting, the Bhagavad Gita, not one word was spoken by Krishna in the first chapter. But now we're going to hear this great saintly person speak on the absolute truth. Here it's mentioned that he traveled the earth disinterested. He wasn't interested in so-called pleasures of this world. He was satisfied in himself. A devotee is Atmaram, self-satisfied. Krishna is also Atmaram. A devotee is satisfied, he is disinterested in the things of this world. What are they interested in? They're interested in devotional service. This is the great interest of devotees of the Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's also stated, Natevadu Spartakatingi Vishnu. Durasya Arthamani Antai Adar Upaniyama. Take peace of Chintam, don't think about that. People in general, they don't know what is their self-interest. They don't know. What they're thinking is very important. And their greatest interest is sense gratification. This is their interest. This is something they're very interested in. But actually, this sense gratification, it's flickering. It doesn't satisfy the soul. And therefore, throughout the world, there's so much dissatisfaction because they don't know what is their real self-interest. The real self-interest is to understand who they are as spirit souls, eternal servants of Krishna, and engage in devotional service. This is the pleasure of the soul. People are looking for pleasure. Everyone's looking for pleasure. Everybody wants to be happy because they're too young for this. So it's a song. If you're feeling sad and you don't know what to do, then just be happy. But it's not so easy to be happy. The words are there, but to be happy, it's not easy. Because real happiness is spiritual happiness. Like I was studying books in Burlingame, and one man stopped with his wife. And he says, "Well, you have any way to make money here?" I said, "No, no." See, these books explain that real happiness is inner happiness. Money doesn't bring happiness. And his wife said, "Oh, yes, it does." But it only brings material happiness. They might have a big house, and a nice car, and a nice facility, and but that's not real happiness. It's flickering down. But real happiness, yonta sukotararam, one whose happiness is within, who is active within, and rejoices within, he's actually liberated. This is the inner happiness. So Krishna explains inner happiness, not this the happiness of the animals. Said Savidvara Ostakrai Samstata Purushapash, that men who are like hogs, dogs, camels, and asses, they the dogs, hog camels, and that. What is it? What's the translation? Praise those men who are not interested in hearing the glories of Krishna. So there's a lot of hogs, dogs, camels, and asses that are just not interested in spiritual life at all. But they think they're happy. Prabhupada goes on to say how the mentality of the dog, that they have to have a master. Like, especially in India, if you see a dog that's healthy, you know he's got a master. A lot of street dogs. Sometimes they're proud. I got my good master. Dogs, hogs, the hogs, they take pleasure in eating horrible foodstuffs, what they call foodstuffs. And they have sex with their relatives, incest. Like Prabhupada tells of a young man. His father was looking for a husband for his sister, and the young man said to his father, "Father, it's not necessary for her to have a husband. I'll take care of it." So he became the husband, sister. So I think that happened in India, but it happens everywhere. It happens. Incest. Yeah. But if you offer Prabhupada would say, you have nice halaba, nice sabji, but you give it stool. Amazing. Dogs, hogs, camels, and the camels, they're very interested in sex, and they go to the female, and what does she do? She kicks him in the face. There's one, Dinabandhu, you all know Dinabandhu? Dinabandhu, he's a famous devotee, prophets. He was in Vrindavan, and he heard this loud hitting, very loud, and he found out that it was the female camel kicking the male in the face. Shock kills him. It was so loud. But what does he do? He keeps on following her, hoping maybe she'll change her mind. Maybe the relationship will change. Getting kicked. The ass. The ass is working so hard, and the master's offering some grass. But grass is everywhere. But he's so foolish. He's thinking, oh, my master's so kind, giving me grass, working hard all day to get some grass. So the human form of life is meant for inquiring how to become free of these material attachments and become attached to Krishna. And devotees, they're very interested in trying to help these people who don't know what is their best. I got a nice letter this morning from email. Well, not email. Actually, it was Tara. You all know Tara Das now. He's in Mayapur, and he met one person who said, your friend Vijaya, he gave a book. I got a book from him 35 years ago. So he said it was a video of him talking to me, Garland. I said, well, that's some good morning news. I said back, that was good morning news. Because all over the world they have their morning news. Bad news. It's all bad. But sometimes we get good. Of course, we get the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's always good news. Sometimes we get video clips good news. This person, it'd be so nice. I was just thinking it'd be nice to know how many people became devotees from books that we distributed. Only Krishna knows. But sometimes we get to get some information. Someone became a devotee. And it's inspiring, because we're doing it's not easy going out distributing books, trying to convince people to take Krishna consciousness. But when it does happen, it's an inspiration. There's some good happening out there. Some people are appreciating this knowledge. Unfortunately, it's Kali Yuga, so people don't know how valuable this knowledge is. Is the most valuable information. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. But some people, and therefore devotees go out. I heard a nice yesterday. I heard a nice pastime of one devotee. His name was Buddhimanta, very famous book distributor back in the 70s. Even back then, he was traveling around the world and went to Australia. And he was the first devotee to distribute 100 big books in a day. And this happened in Los Angeles when Prabhupada was there in Los Angeles. So he did that amazing amount of books in one day. And then he went back to the temple and he wanted to see Prabhupada. And the secretary said, no, you can't see him. He's busy. And the devotee said, no. Prabhupada will want to hear this. He's busy. So this devotee, he's pretty determined book distributor, so he was able to maneuver himself around, jumped over desks, he got around the secretary. And he got into Prabhupada's room, and Prabhupada said, oh, happening. Well, Prabhupada, I just want to let you know that I distributed 100 big books today for your pleasure. Prabhupada said, acha, good, yeah. So Prabhupada was looking around to give him something as a reward. Then he couldn't find anything, so he took off his shirt and he gave him. Got the mercy. Prabhupada was very pleased by this book distribution because people don't know. This is one of the problems of those who are demonic nature. They don't know what to do. They don't know what not to do. Laws and materialistic people, they don't know what to do. It's like we didn't know what to do before we got Prabhupada's books. Of course, you're fortunate. You were born in the movement, right? So you always knew. You always knew what to do. Right from the time he came out of the womb, right? January gift. But we didn't know. Most of us, we didn't know what to do. Then we got Prabhupada's book. Oh, now I know what January gift. This is the process in this age. Kala, Dosha, and Hera. No. Is it, no, in this age of Kali, the only process. I don't know. Anyway, this age of Kali, the process for purification is chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. It's amazing. Krishna takes away. You know something very well, and then Krishna just takes it away. Anyway, this is in this age of Kali, the process of purification is to chant Hare Krishna. This is the process. And if someone is chanting Hare Krishna in the age of Kali, then he's not in Kali Yuga. He's in Satya Yuga. Because he's living a pure life. And if someone is in Satya Yuga and is not chanting Hare Krishna, they're not in Satya Yuga, they're in Kali Yuga. But this is the best way to connect Krishna is by this chanting Hare Krishna. And it's a big challenge because in this age, the senses are very powerful. The senses are very powerful, and the path of bhakti is spiked by millions of thorny obstacles. This is what was spoken by Prabhu and Saraswati. He says, therefore, my dear Lord Krishna, if you do not guide me, then what will I do? Spiked by millions of thorny obstacles, so many obstacles. What is the main obstacle on this path of bhakti? Mind is the main obstacle. Much titaz, however, much prasada thrusasi, the pattern from the Guru, the shoshisi, or no shisi. What does Krishna say? He says, but if you become conscious of me, you'll cross over all the obstacles on your path to pure bhakti. If, however, you act out of false ego and you don't hear me, you're lost. Nobody likes to be lost. Any of you ever had that experience where you're lost? Yeah, it's a terrible experience. I do a lot of traveling, so sometimes I go on walks, wherever I go. Sometimes I go too far. Wait a second now. Where do I go back? So nobody likes to be lost, but in Kali Yuga, practically everybody is lost. They don't know who they are, what the goal of life is. There was a devotee who, before he joined, he had a very unusual experience in which he was really lost. He was riding his bike and he got in an accident and he hit his head really bad. So bad he got complete amnesia. Didn't know his name, didn't know where he lived, just completely lost. So we picked up the bike, it must be my bike because it's down and I'm down. So he picked it up and he's walking with his bike and not knowing where to go. Imagine, just total amnesia. So then one devotee sees him and he says, hey, how's it going? Where are you from? Just wrecked my bike. I have no memory. I don't know my name. I don't know where I live. But the devotee is very surprised. Imagine they doing books and you meet somebody like that. So the devotee said, well, I'll tell you who you are. You're the eternal servant of Krishna. And they said, okay, well, at least I know something now. Just clean slate, That'd be nice. Nothing. Like when we were kids, we used to have these things. You ride on it and then you lift it up.
Yeah.
You had those also? They had those in India too. So this clean slate. What a great, what a great circumstance for him. So this devotee understood his very awkward situation, so he took him under his wing, and he stayed with him, took him to his apartment, and he trained him on how to be a devotee, and he became a good devotee. He became a book distributor, a good book distributor. And after practicing Krishna consciousness, he got initiated and everything. But after practicing for a couple of years, he thought he wanted to find out who he was materially. He found out who he was spiritually, eternal servant of Krishna. And was happy with that, but he was curious, who was it? So his bike crashed near UCSB, University of California, Santa Barbara. So he made some flowers. He had a picture of himself and caption, "I don't know who I am. If you know who I am, call this number." I got it immediately. So a bunch of people called. They said who he was, and then even one person, he knew his family. So it turns out that he was a big atheist. So Krishna covered all that up. It became a good devotee. Isn't that amazing? Krishna that works in amazing ways. Man, let me give some mercy to this person. Took away all his nonsense atheism, and became a good devotee, good book shooter, good classes, everything. Smart guy. UCSB, good school. So yeah, Krishna revealed who he was. And people in this material world, people have amnesia. They forgot who they are. They think they're Joe Schmo or this or that, or American or Russian or Chinese. No, we're all eternal servants of Krishna. So by going out and distributing these books, some people, some very fortunate people, remember that they're eternal servants of Krishna. It's rare, Kali Yuga. People are not very intelligent spiritually. But there's some people, there's some rare people out there that appreciate his knowledge and go for it. Like I was distributing books once at a university in Los Angeles. I was showing the student a book, and he was like, "Wow, this is fantastic. This is what I'm looking for." So I gave him the address of the temple, and when I got back to the temple, he said, "Who did?" Yeah, he became a devotee. So Vaiseshika Maharaj, he gives the example of the ripe mangoes. Some mangoes aren't ripe; they just leave them. Some are ripe. So he went there. He became a devotee. Yeah. So there's ripe mangoes out there. Not many, but they're out there. So our duty as book shooters, is to go out and Krishna will help us find those right mangoes. Benefit so much. I was in Australia and there I was giving seminars on book distribution, and one lady, Mataji, she came and she said, you helped me become a devotee because I went to a used bookstore and I found the Bhagavad Gita. And I'd always wanted to read the Bhagavad Gita, but I had never found it. But I found it, and then when I opened it up, your name is in the book. Because we all used to sign our name in the book, make it more personal. Sign it. We got that from like Tripurari. Would sign it and make it more personal. So one nice thing about that is I would find out from people that oh, because of you, I got a 50% consciousness. That was a nice thing about signing. We don't sign them. Nobody signs anymore. But that was a nice thing about signing. Another, I was in Canada. We were at a festival, and one person came up to me. He said, "Vijaya, I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much." I said, "You're welcome." Why are you thanking me? He said, "One friend of mine went to Miami, and he got a book from you. He didn't get it for himself, but he knew I was interested in yoga and meditation and spiritual stuff, and he got it for me. And I saw your name in there, and I was always hoping, I hope I meet this person someday. But he was in South America. Somehow he was in Canada. He was living in Canada. So yeah, it happens, and it's very encouraging that some people are taking this knowledge seriously. Like I said, it's rare, but there are those souls searching for the truth. And fortunately, we came across this truth, the absolute truth. So the devotee is interested in helping others. It's like here it's mentioned that the devotees of the Lord, they're uninterested in material sense gratification, material life, but they are very interested in spiritual life and helping others. And therefore, Prahlad Maharaj says, Naivo Vijaya Pratrajaya Vaitranis, Padvirya Gayana Mahamrat Mantu, Tokchetito Chet Indriyana Maya Sakhaya. It's an interesting verse by Prahlad Maharaj. He says, I have no problem, no anxiety. I'm so happy because of taking to Krishna consciousness. So, but at the same time, I'm concerned about all the unfortunate souls who are suffering, as Prabhupada says, are rotting in the material world. Interesting phrase he uses there, just rotting. Rotting is like, oh, you see, sometimes you see food, it's rotten. People just rotting in the material world. So he says, I am concerned, I don't love them, that they're going around just wasting their life, chewing the chewed. Prabhupada gives the example of sometimes they have this sugar cane and they chew the sweetness out of it, right? Chew the sweetness out of it. But then someone comes by, someone throws it on the ground, someone comes by and picks it up. Maybe there's still some sweetness in it. Chewing the chew. I guess the example here in America would be chewing gum. Have this chewing gum. Doesn't last long, yes. And then they throw it out. Sweetness is gone. Then someone comes by and picks it up. Maybe there's still some sweetness in it. They start chewing on it. Trying to get some sweetness. They're chewing the chew. So material life is like that, chewing the chew. They've had the experience. It gets old, but they don't have anything else. They don't have anything else. All they have is sense gratification. So that's where we come in. We come in with the books. It's something higher. Keep on chewing the chew, but it's just the same old thing. It's old. It's the same old thing. It gets old. But we have something that's ever fresh. Ever fresh. It's like Jamunacharya. He says, Yadavadhi mamacheta Krishna padaraminde. Never rust down. Yadavadhi batanari sangame smayamana. Bhavati mukha vikara sustu. He was a king. He had a whole kingdom, king is there, and he had a lot of sense gratification. But by the mercy of his guru and his godbrother, he he was a good devotee in the ashram, good brahmachari. But I won't tell you the whole story. It's a whole story of how he became a king, and then he became very licentious, very absorbed in sense gratification. But his guru told one of his disciples, his guru was just passing away. There was one disciple, good disciple, said, is there any special service I can do? He said, yes, Yamuna, he's become Since go help. Go help. Make him a devotee. He was a good devotee. Now he's degraded. So he was able to convince the whole story. Actually, I'll tell you, this last part's not so. He went there as bringing this herb. He would bring this herb every day to the king, and it was an herb that made one peaceful, very tasty, and made him peaceful. So the cook would cook this every day. And then one day, this devotee didn't show up. He didn't bring it. So Jamuna, he asked, "Where is that sabji? That was nice sabji." He said, "Oh, there was one sadhu. He was coming and he was bringing it, but he didn't bring it. He didn't come today." He said, "If he comes again, I'd like to speak to him then. I'd like that." So he is. So the next day he came, and the cook said, "Hey, the king wants to see you. He appreciates that nice herb you were bringing." So then he saw the king. He said, "I like that. Please bring it every day." And I also have a message from your guru that he's left a treasure for you. He's a king. He's interested in treasures. So he said, "Yes, but only you and me can go to get this treasure. You have to leave your entourage behind." He said, "Okay." So the next day, they went on this journey, 3-day journey. But as they're on this journey, this devotee kept on chanting slokas, the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhu. And he knew that Yamuna, he knew these verses, but year after year after year, but he was repeating these verses, and then Yamuna started remembering. He was smart. He was a smart guy. So he started remembering these verses, and he started chanting them with this sadhu. And he was becoming so happy remembering these nice slokas. And finally they reached one town, and in this town there was a temple. So they went to the temple, and this devotee that was with him, he said, "This is the treasure that your guru left for you, Radha and Krishna." So this Yamunacharya, he went and he paid dandavats to the Lord with tears in his eyes. He was so happy. He was so happy. And finally when he came out of the temple, he said, "I renounced my kingdom. Now I just want to serve Krishna." And he became such a great devotee. He wrote so many poems. And this verse I just mentioned is the most famous verse that Prabhupada quoted many times. He said, "Since I've been engaged in the loving service of Krishna, experiencing ever fresh pleasure at every moment, whenever I think of sex life, my lips curl in distaste and I spit it with fun." Here's a person that had a lot of sex, but having tasted the ever fresh pleasure of Krishna consciousness, not interested, uninterested. Because Krishna consciousness, this is ever fresh. Once you get a taste, sweeter and sweeter. Just like reading Bhagavad Gita, we read it every day. Some of us, we read it every day. It doesn't get old. It's ever fresh. Chanting Hare Krishna, we all chant Hare Krishna. Of course, as we advance, and it gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. But even in our present situation, even then, still, it's sweet. What to speak of, and it's more and more Krishna consciousness. So this is Krishna consciousness, kids. It's ever fresh, sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. So therefore, we want to help others. This Prahlad, very interesting. He says, "I'm very happy, but at the same time, I'm sad." seeing the suffering of people. The devotee is paradukkha, sees others suffering, they see others happy. People in Kali Yuga, so it's like in high school, whenever there'd be a fight, all the students would run to see the fight. Now one person told me now they don't only just see it, not only did they want to see the fight, they bring their phones, get a video, like share it with their friend. Yeah, check that out. Taking pleasure in seeing others suffer. Devotee is just the opposite. See others, just like an amazing example of Vasudeva dying. You know, Vasudeva leper. When he would see a worm fall off one of his sores, his leper sores, he would pick it up and put it back on. He's got leprosy. And a worm would fall off, he'd put it back on because he didn't want him to be but he wanted him to get his meal, you know. Eating his body, because he knew it's not his body. I mean, that's like a pretty high level of, you know, detachment from the body. He didn't want the worm to be inconvenienced. He was having his dinner, he fell off. Hey, come on, have some more. Completely detached from the body. Then there's Vasudeva. He prayed to Lord Chaitanya that please allow all the sins of everyone in the world come upon me so that they can be liberated and go back to God. Lord Chaitanya, when he heard that, he embraced it, he was crying. He was so happy to hear such selflessness. So this is a devotee. A devotee just will undergo so much inconvenience, so much suffering, to relieve the suffering of the people. And one devotee says that it's very common for devotees of the Lord to accept inconvenience to relieve the suffering of the people in general. And this is the highest method of devotional service to the deity. Highest method of worship the deity is to go out. It's like there's so many offerings being offered to the deity every day. You know, they offer food and they bless the deities. But when a conditioned soul comes in and the deity, the Lord sees finally a conditioned soul has come back, you know. So that's what we're doing. We're distributing books, giving people an opportunity to come back to Krishna. And Krishna is so pleased. So therefore, this is what is most pleasing to the acharyas, to Prabhupada, to Bhaktisiddhanta, to all the acharyas, to Krishna. Krishna says, "There's no one more dear to me than that person who is preaching this message." Because he also is paradukkha. He doesn't like to see others suffer. Likes to see everybody happy. Prabhupada said, he said that if you dance in front of the deities, three things happen. You dance before the deities, you become light. You become free of the modes of nature, and you develop your love for Krishna. You become light in two ways. One way is you become free of the modes of nature. And also you lose weight. Dancing, exercise. As you develop your love for Krishna. Now, when I heard that, I thought, wow, that's beautiful. I dance a lot more. Now my feet are giving me problems, but in the heart I'm still. Krishna likes it when we dance. So it went on a little bit later. Is there any comment, question? We have a guest. Your name is hard for me to remember. What's your name?
Braja Rasabhavana.
Braja Rasabhavana. That's a tough name to remember. Braja Rasabhavana. Maybe I'll, having said it on the oscillate now, maybe I'll remember. Braja Rasa. But Braja?
Rasabhavana.
Rasabhavana. I already forgot it. Braja Rasabhavana. I need to pick up it. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, what if we can't taste the freshness of ever fresh consciousness? Like sometimes we don't feel it is ever fresh. Sometimes we feel like, oh, this is also chewing the chew.
Sometimes it's like a feeling like chewing the chewed also. No. As Jayawaiya Swami said yesterday, just keep going. Just keep going. Patience. We're trying to achieve the highest thing, love for Krishna. And there's also contamination that we're dealing with. So we're trying to develop our love for Krishna, at the same time we're trying to become free of the contamination. That's a big challenge. So we have to be determined, patient. Prabhu gives the example of the sparrow who lost her eggs in the ocean, and trying to get the eggs back. What's she doing? She's taking little drops of water in her beak, determined to dry the ocean up or to get her eggs. It's amazing, so much love. But then Garuda got word of it. He came. He said, listen, if you don't give those eggs back, I'm going to do it. Oh, okay. Got the eggs back. So it might seem inconceivable that we can become pure, but Krishna does amazing things. He's the master of mystics. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Arjuna. He's the master of mystics. He can do anything. So he can purify us completely. And we can develop our love for Krishna. We just have to be very determined and patient. And Prabhupada said he's more interested in us going back than we're interested in going back. So he's very interested in our purification. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Prabhu, thank you. He